Party people, what's going on? This is Samaj Marsh. I'm the founder of BlueDeathValley.com, and I want to welcome you guys back to another special edition of Inside the Valley, the podcast that's devoted to relentless coverage of A&T football. And I know we're a few minutes late here tonight. Sorry, I want to apologize about that. I was caught doing some father stuff. My youngest son had a little travel baseball game, and it was one of the worst games you can probably witness. Number of errors and pass balls and just delays, and it ran over. So I was coming from High Point and had to run like 15 red lights, but I'm here and I'm safe. And of course, I got one of my two co-hosts here to help me out. First up, longtime A&T insider, beat writer on BlueDeathValley.com for over 2 decades, current president of the Greensboro chapter of the AAF, and he happens to be my right-hand man, Mr. President Craig Turner. What's going on, CT?
Hey, Aggie Pride, back. Glad you made it back from High Point. Should have stopped by the house. You just do the show from here.
You know what? If I was smart, if I was clever, I could have made that audible and done that. That was, next time I'll put that in the plan B. Right. But we're here, and we're coming off another disappointing loss, 45-25, South Carolina State. I get that right, Craig? That's right score, 45-25.
Yeah, 45-25. Yeah.
Went down to Orangeburg. It was hoping to kind of erase some of the blues off our mind from Central, and then really didn't do too much. We actually had a pretty good first half. Actually had the lead early in the third quarter, and then some about those ugly traits kind of reared the ugly head again, and big play after big play. Had an interception, and just defense kind of had some miscues. We're going to go into that. We got some video we can break down, but we're going to have a extensive look on what is the issues that's really plaguing us on both sides of the football, really. And we're going to talk about that. Of course, Doug Brown, the Greensboro native, and he had the most yards in one game in receiving yards the most single receiving yards in one game in A&T history. He'll be here a little bit later. He's in transit too. But Craig, just real quick before we bring our guests on, what were your thoughts about South Carolina State? How did you view that whole encounter?
Well, I was pleased and disappointed, but probably a little bit more pleased than I was disappointed. I expected South Carolina State to break that game open in the second half. Yeah. Before I got down there, before I even left Greensboro, I just felt like they were a better football team. Right. They're a better football team than we are right now. But I was pleased with how we played, especially in the first half and midway through the third quarter. I thought we held our own. We didn't back down from them. I think it took them a little bit by surprise. Because Chennisberry, when it went in at halftime and it was tied up 10-10, I think Chennisberry was a little bit taken aback by it because the Bulldogs didn't come out out of the second half until about a minute and a half before kickoff. So he probably had some choice words for his squad. Because we played a really good hustle first half. We made mistakes, but like I said, I can live with mistakes as long as we're getting after it. Right. And I thought we did that. We came out in the second half. We got them in a 3-and-out, and then we went 2 plays and went 80 yards or 85 yards in 2 plays and jumped out to jump and shot. I think shot to everybody with the long run by Dalrymple, and then the pass, Fomby's pass to Rucker with a reserve tight end.
Beautiful pass.
Yeah, that was a beautifully executed play, and I think everybody was feeling good. Everybody's feeling good, and then. But I've been around football long enough to know that when you're playing a superior opponent and you come out like that, that was a wake-up call for them. And I think they woke up and they did what I thought they would do early on. Is they powered up on us, and we're not ready yet to go toe to toe with a team that physical. They executed well. Our kids were were still making plays in there, but it's just it is what it is. And they had better personnel and they executed, and we didn't. And we had turnovers. Well, we had 3 turnovers in that run they had, and we go from being touchdown up to being 14 down, from 7 up to 14 down. I think that was the game.
Yeah, quick, that momentum shift. Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
Well, Craig, I got bad news. It doesn't get any easier this week because we traveled up to face the Richmond Spiders. They're nationally ranked. I think they were high as 21 in one poll I saw. They're defending CAA champions. They made it to the second round of the FCS playoffs last year. This, like I said, if we were hoping for an easier opponent to kind of get our sea legs back, it ain't happen on this upcoming Saturday. But
we don't have an easy schedule. I saw this week where we got to the 33rd toughest schedule in FCS, or 23rd or 33rd. I can't remember what it was. Nobody in HBCU football was even relatively close to the difficulty of schedule that we have. So. So it is what it is, But hey, we ain't afraid of nobody. We'll line up and play anybody. So
put the ball down. Put the ball down. Yeah. Hey, Doug, what's going on?
Down. Hey, what's up, guys?
We'll do okay.
Aggie Pride, man.
Hey, man.
How you doing, Craig?
Hey, so Doug, we was just getting. I was. Yeah, hey, look, Craig was just telling us, man, to give us a synopsis on South Carolina State, and I'll let you get your thoughts in a little bit here. But first, before we going further, I want to we have a special guest in the building, and we was talking about Richmond and how much of a challenge they pose for us this upcoming Saturday. But we got an insider, and he's a friend of the show now. I can call him a friend. He was here last year, gave us some great tidbits and great just a perspective on that Richmond Spider program. And also kind of like this giving us a heads up on what the CAA was going to entail, and just what to expect from the upper echelon of FCS football. Some real good insight. So we brought him back, and he's a long time voice of the Richmond Spider whole network. He does all the sports. He also does ESPN affiliate show in the Richmond area. I think 5 days a week. So let me bring on to our show Mr. Bob Black. Bob, how you doing?
Good evening, fellas. You guys got me fired up. This is good stuff. I like this.
Man, listen, we live in the dream here. So Bob, since last time we spoke to you, right? You guys were, I guess, coming off last year. You was coming off a tough game, and you were still trying to figure out your identity. And then you came to Greensboro, beat the hell out of us. You found your identity, and you went on to greener pastures and went to the LCS football. So just tell me a little bit about that second half of the season, and then that run to the playoffs for you guys.
Well, this is a little bit like deja vu all over again. You kind of re-rack the tape from last year, because we're kind of going through the same thing this year. Even though, man, our guys in the summer, they talk so much about not letting that happen again. Like, we were 2-3 to start the year last season and climbed out of it, won 7 in a row, won the CAA, all that. And they were like, you can't push the envelope but so many times. We don't want to do it again. And then lo and behold, here we are at 0-2 to start this season again with the losses to Virginia, which is, that's an FBS, and Wofford. And now we've won 3 in a row since. So we've kind of turned the page, kind of like we did last year. One of the things we found last year was our offensive line. The first 5 games of the year, our quarterbacks were on the ground a lot. Yeah, we weren't running the ball very well. And then an offensive line came together. You guys, you know it. You went in the trenches. And when that offensive line got it going, we became a pretty darn good football team last year. I would take a little exception. I don't think we beat the heck out of you last year. In fact, if you look at the numbers and all of that, it was a pretty evenly played game. We had a couple pick sixes in the game against you guys last year. That was probably the difference in that one. But other than that, that was a pretty even game last year. So I think we're kind of finding ourselves again this year. And so far right now we've won 3 in a row and we're playing pretty well, actually.
So 3-2, and you're 1-0 in the CAA after beating Elon last week. And Elon is kind of I guess enigma to me. They play really well in Spurs, and then some games I thought they compete a little bit better. They haven't. What was your take on Elon from the head-to-head matchup?
I would say we won that game at the end of the first half and the start of the second half. Had a great drive at the end of the first half, 9 plays, 75 yards, scored a touchdown with about 30 seconds to go, so we didn't leave them any time. And then we got the ball to start the second half and ripped off a 56-yard run by our running back who's been playing great. And that was kind of the game right there. So the end of the first half, start of the second half, we were up 27-7 and then kind of hung on. From there, we had a pick 6 in that game as well. Our defense has been really opportunistic. Had the 2, as I said, last year against you guys. So I think that was the difference. That's become, it won't continue because we're leaving the league, obviously, but that's become a pretty good rivalry game for us. The Elon-Richmond game has become a pretty good rivalry game. Similar schools, similar academically, been very competitive. They were close to the postseason last year. We got there. It was a good game. Excuse me.
No problem. But Bob, so I got a question for you. Do you have a quarterback on your roster who you're trying to get NFL scouts to look at? Are you trying to put a guy because the reason I asked you that we can help because the last couple of quarterbacks that we played have had like out of body experiences. We went to South Carolina State, and this guy, no knock on him. Eric Phoenix or whatever. He's a decent quarterback, but he went like career high 300 some yards. Three touchdowns. I mean, it was just, we have some serious issues on passing and stopping and run. Last year when you came and faced us, our Achilles heel was offense, right? We couldn't pass the ball to save our life. This year seems like it's flip-flop. Now, we have one of the most, one of the lowest ranked defenses in the league. So, I hope that's maybe reverse bulletin board for you guys, but when you see A&T, what's the scouting report? Are you just like licking your chops?
Well, first of all, that surprises me a little knowing Vince Brown. Obviously, he's former Richmond assistant and a great defensive player in his day, so I'm sure that's really bugging the heck out of him. Yeah, and that'll change, I'm sure. Our quarterback's been good. We've had a couple of them. Cam Coleman, who's a Carolina guy from Clemens, is our signal caller right now. He's been really good, throws the ball really well, but we've really run the ball well. We're averaging 200 yards a game rushing right now. So that's kind of been our bread and butter. And Zach Palmer-Smith has been our really good tailback, transfer from Wagner, has had back-to-back 100-yard games. And again, that offensive line is just getting the job done for him.
So Doug, you jump in here, man, because I know you watched a little bit of film.
Bob, go ahead.
I was going to ask you who on Richmond most concerns you when you watch the tape.
Well, I mean, they're a complete football team. Bob said it up front. Offensive line, they're huge, they're physical, and that's pretty much what it takes in this league. But I think they win as a team. They've definitely got some talent outside at wide receiver. We've got a brotherly connection with the Vinny boys. Yeah. They're reuniting for a family reunion for the second time around. So it's neat to see brother versus brother in the wide receiver rooms. But like I said, they're a complete team, man. There's challenges everywhere you look. And so they're a well-coached bunch. They're a group that's going to be mentally tough. They're not going to make a lot of mistakes. They're not going to beat themselves. And playing at home, I mean, gosh, Richmond, I think you guys saw it in the playoffs last year when they beat the hell out of Central. I mean, they're a tough team at home. Short drive up the road, but just very disciplined, very complete ball club. And, there's a benefit with Coach Brown and some of our coaches having coached there, and there's some familiarity. But it'll be a tough ball game, just like every game in the CAA. And, I think this is one of those games where it's up to us to minimize our mistakes so that we can stay in the ball game and hopefully have a chance to compete late at the end. But Bob's he's not gonna give it all to you. He's gonna sell you just a little bit of it, man. He knows they're a tough ball club, and they got a shot at the playoffs just like last year. And my hope is that we can take care of business this year and get a win before you guys exit the conference. Because we sat here last year, Bob, and you told us from your mouth, the horse's mouth, right, that you guys were not looking to leave the CAA and move up, man. And we saw how quickly things can change in today's college landscape. So if this is the last chance for the Aggies to get a win up in Richmond as a CAA conference affiliate, we hope this is it, man. But if you guys want to sit a few guys or take a rest, this would be the week to do it. Don't listen to Samaj talking about putting guys in the league. Because last year, you guys quarterback, I can't think of his name. Is it
Coleman? It was Coleman last year.
It wasn't Coleman. It was with a B.
Well, Cam played against you guys last year. He was not, to be honest with you, he was not great last year. And
who was the guy that finished the season as the starter?
Kyle Wickersham was the guy.
Wickersham. That's Wickersham. That is Spencer Turkin on the call with Wickersham when he one of our guys heading into the end zone. So kind of like last year, man, we were hoping to, game 4 or 5 is a breakout game for our quarterback because you guys got some momentum going last year around game 4 or 5 and was able to rattle off those 7 wins or so and make it to the playoffs. So we're striving for the same things, man. We hadn't been able to figure it out just yet, but that's why you lace them up every Saturday. So we'll see what happens when the Aggies come up the road, man.
So you use the word complete, which we appreciate. Nice compliment for our football team. The word we're using, Doug, is complementary. And our offense has been complementary to our defense, and our defense has been complementary to our offense. And it. That's really neat to see. When that's working like that, when they're hand in hand like that, it's a pretty good look on the field. And we've had that the past 3 weeks, quite frankly. Both the offense has held its end of the bargain, and so has the defense. So it's been good the last 3 weeks. We'd like to keep it going. Saturday, we've had, some injury problems. We got a bye week after you guys.
Let me cut you off. I don't want to hear nothing about injuries. I don't want to hear nothing about injuries. Okay, we've down our starting quarterback.
We all got it.
This time of year,
Hey, Craig, for real, I'm gonna let you go back, Bob. But let me say, Craig, give him the laundry list of who is out for us. Just give him an idea, Craig.
Our starting quarterback, our 2 top running backs, our top defensive tackle, our top safety,
2 DBs,
safety,
one of our corners, our top free safety and top strong safety are both out, been out last week, and a couple other kids are out. So we're talk about walking wounded. It's more like the dragon dead is more like it. So
So I got a question, Bob. We had this talk with Delaware the week of the Delaware game, and just the difference in scholarships. How close are you guys to 85 scholarships at this point?
Not at all, and we won't be. Being a small private institution, we're not doing that. We're at the FCS level. We're at 63, but our full roster is only probably 86 with all our walk-ons. In fact, it's funny you say that, Doug, because I watched practice the last 2 days from up in the press box. And, when they gather at the end of practice, everybody comes around the head coach and the head coach talks. And I'm like, where the heck's the other half of this team? Like the huddle, it looks so small. Wow. I'm like, where are the rest of these guys? So we do not have a big roster, and we're depleted as well. We've lost 3 defensive ends, a defensive tackle, a linebacker, a wide receiver. So we're in the same. We get it, but our numbers are not very big right now. So we're kind of an Iron Man spider group that's trying to get through this week, to be honest with you, and get to the bye week and hopefully get a couple guys back. But we do not have we have a quality team, but we do not have a quantity team.
So you're saying there's a chance. That's all you can ask for.
Of course there's a chance.
Like Dumb and Dumber.
Absolutely.
Hey, Bob.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Bob, so let me ask you this. So obviously we're not having the best of season, and even the last year we won in 10. So Vincent Brown, who you know very well, was on your staff, helped you guys win national championship. He's been kind of under fire a little bit here. Seats getting super hot. But you guys know him probably better than we do. What is the biggest misconception you think there is about Vincent Brown?
That's a tough one. I mean, he is a solid guy. and a solid football coach. He knows the game inside and out, played it obviously at a high level. So I think you need to give him time, right? This is year 2, right? I'm not counting wrong, right?
Yeah.
This is just year 2. I mean, I think you need to give him, a little bit of time here to see what he can do, get his game legs about him, and recruit some people. And remember, this conference is about to change after this year.
Right.
And I'm not trying to pump us up at all, although we've been successful.
Yeah.
But this conference is about to lose Richmond, and it's about to lose Delaware, and it just lost James Madison, which are 3 of the more marquee programs. I think we can all agree with that. So I think there are some opportunities to move up with the departure of those teams. But I think he's a solid guy. As you said, he helped us to a national championship. Coach Bankins was on that staff as well. And Stephen Barnett, who's your tight end coach, played for us after we won the national championship from about 2010 to 2014. He was a great wide receiver for us. So I think you've got some good football people in place. I think you need to let them do what they do for a couple more years and see what happens.
Let me ask you this. Does Vincent Brown, because he's very, what's the word? Kind of, what's the word? Button up. Is that appropriate?
Reserved
Reserved.
time.
Yeah, but he has kind of like a statesmanly or about himself, like a CEO. Is there a passionate side of him that we might not be seeing right now? That when things when he gets a little more comfortable.
I think so. Now he was with us for 2 years,
right?
And they were 2 really good years. And he was an assistant coach, so he obviously wasn't really in the spotlight. He kind of went about his business, did his job, did it really well, and obviously, helped us win a national championship. Coach Huseman was the defensive coordinator. Coach Brown was on his staff.
Right. Okay.
So kind of hard to tell from that how that translates to being a head coach. It's a major difference from being an assistant to being the head coach. But I certainly enjoyed our time that we had with him, and he was a solid X's and O's guy. Now, how that translates to a head coach, where you got to do a lot more than X's and O's, still probably remains to be seen with Coach Brown.
All right. So I got a little bit of truth serum for you, and before we let you go.
Sure.
So like Doug alluded to, you were adamant last year. You were like, what was that baseball player that's sitting here? I did not take steroids. You said we were not.
Palmero.
Yeah.
Palmero.
You said we will not be leaving the CAA. Okay, and then here we are. You guys are going to be out. What if you can? I know you work for the university, but if there's, what do you think was the factors that caused you guys to want to go from the CAA to the Patriot League?
First of all, I want you to re-rack that tape, because I'm not sure I was that adamant. I'm drinking the truth serum. I'm drinking it.
Okay.
For the last 18 months or so, there have been plenty of internal conversations about what Richmond was going to do football-wise. Because, fellas, look, we were a charter member of the CAA. We helped form this conference back in the day. We have a lot of loyalties to this conference. It was based in Virginia. It is no more, obviously. But I think we've known for some time now that this league has evolved into a different mindset, a different footprint, and that we needed to look at this league got too big for us. There are just too many schools in this league, and there aren't as many natural rivalry opponents for Richmond. I'll give you a couple of cases in point beyond the obvious, beyond JMU leaving, which was obviously a major rival for us, beyond Delaware leaving, which was also a rival for us. Even the teams that are still here, we're frustrated because we're not playing them on a regular basis because this league is so darn big that we've got to play all these other schools. And we haven't played Villanova in like 3 years. When we made the move to the Patriot League, one of the things Coach Huseman pointed out was he's been here 8 years and we've played New Hampshire twice. Like, they're a perennial playoff team. We want to be playing them, and they haven't been on our schedule but twice in 8 years, and that kind of frustrated us. So I think it had a lot to do with the size of the league and who we weren't playing as much as it was who we were playing. And I think that in addition just to the academic footprint with the Patriot League is why we made the move. We made it very clear. This is not a downgrade in football for us. We're not changing our funding, our resources, our commitment to winning championships. But the CAA just isn't what it was when we helped form it. And we've lost our natural rivals. And then the teams we think we should play we're not even playing on a regular basis at this point.
Bob, I think it's interesting you made the comment about the academic footprint. That's an argument I make a lot, that conferences align through academics, right? It's not just all athletics. I mean, you look at the Ivy League, you look at Pac-12, well, it used to be Pac-12, but ACC, Big Ten, all those schools are very similar in their academic alignment. So, I think that'll be a good fit for you all. It's also a plus to have less teams and still have an opportunity to make it to the playoffs, right? I think that not that you guys are looking for the easy way out, but less traffic to get through to make it to the playoffs, man. And a team like Richmond, you guys are just looking to make it in the dance, right? Because you got to feel like you can compete with any team once you get in there. So I understand.
But here's the other thing, Doug. You make a great point. I mean, the Patriot League, with us joining it now, only has 8 teams. So that's 7 conference games. And now we get 4. Our non-conference schedule just got a lot better. Like next year, William and Mary becomes a non-conference game, and we'll continue to play them. And then we have like Furman on our non-conference schedule, and we have VMI on our non-conference schedule as a state rival. We'll continue to play in FCS, Carolina, UVA, NC State, those schools. So our non-conference schedule, it opens up a little more flexibility in that regard. And look, again, I'm drinking the truth serum here. We hope somebody else joins us. Like, we would love for William and Mary to do the same thing. We would love for Villanova to come with us and make the Patriot League kind of what the CAA used to be. The Patriot done a pretty good job of investing in football. I mean, Holy Cross has been really good. Colgate has been good. Lafayette, Lehigh. We're excited about that, and we would love for one of those other schools. And I'm not trying to recruit them, on your show tonight.
No.
But it's certainly been talked about. We would love for one of those other schools to join us in the Patriot League at some point.
That is so interesting, because that was going to be my question. Do you think anybody else is a little bit not unhappy, but just kind of, because right now, I mean, I don't know what the criteria is for you even be happy in the league. You see teams from the Pac-12 leaving, going all the way across the country, ACC. So, I mean, besides, I guess, the scheduling issue, what was the revenue okay for you guys? Was the TV deal anything that you balked at?
That a little bit. I would say we will be much happier being on ESPN Plus beginning next year. The Patriot League is an ESPN conference, as opposed to Flow Sports. I mean, I don't know what your guys' experience was like, but our fans found it very difficult to deal with Flow Sports for the most part, to find the games, the price points, all of that. So I do think that was a part of it. And, for the rest of our sports, we're in the Atlantic 10, which is an ESPN Plus conference. So it makes it more seamless now. So when you sign up as a Richmond fan, you can watch football, basketball, baseball, all of the sports on one platform. So, yeah, I think that was certainly part of it as well. The rest of the financial part of it probably didn't move the needle a whole lot. I think it was, to Doug's point, somewhat, the similar academic institutions. We like that the Patriot League has vested in football, and we think we can be successful in it. And our student body and our alumni, even though we're a Southern school in Richmond, Virginia, is somewhat Northern based. We have a lot of students and alums from Pennsylvania, Jersey, New York, Connecticut, that area. And I do think they identify with a lot of the Patriot League schools. So we'll see. It's going to be a work in progress beginning next year, but we have made our president was adamant when we made this announcement that this is not in any way downgrading football. If anything, we're trying to bolster it up and continue to win conference championships and play for national championships.
Now, Bob, do you guys currently have a linear TV deal where you guys are able to watch your games locally?
Yeah, we do. We're very fortunate. We have 2 regional sports networks in the Mid-Atlantic region, Masson, which is, carries the Orioles and the Nationals, and then Monumental Sports Network, which carries the Wizards and the Capitals. And we have deals with both of them to linear televise our home games for both football and for basketball as well. So we're really fortunate in that regard. But I'll tell you this, Doug, here's what I've learned in the last year or so. Our fans have become very accustomed to ESPN Plus. Like, if we don't put a game for some reason on Monumental Sports Network or Masson, and it's just on ESPN Plus, they're pretty good with that at this point. There's a subscription to that, obviously, but that's kind of become the standard way of life at this point. So they're actually okay with it. So I think the move to the Patriot League being on ESPN and ESPN Plus helps. but I don't think it was the driving factor for it.
Well, we could definitely understand, man. I had to throw in the fact that we were charter members of the MEAC. So when we left the MEAC, we caught a lot of flack on our way to the Big South. But
that was surprising too, Doug. I mean, a lot of us were surprised that you guys left the MEAC, that Hampton left the MEAC. I mean, as you said, Samaj, I mean, that's the landscape we live in now, is conference realignment on a daily basis.
So first of all, let me tell you, you sparked about a month worth of fierce debate on our message board just by giving your insight on the conference move and flow sports. Like those have always been hot button topics, but now from your perspective, it's going to ignite that even more. And I also owe you an apology. I went back into the video vault in my head, and I remember you didn't say we're not going to the we're not leaving CAA. You said we're not going to FBS.
That's correct.
You were
adamant by that one. We are not going FBS. We don't have the undergraduate numbers, the alum numbers, the stadium capacity. We are not going. Now, as you guys well know, who knows where we're going to be? All of us. The Power Four breaks off and does whatever they do. Who knows where we wind up? But in the landscape today, we're not going FBS. That I will be adamant about. You're right.
That's right.
Craig, anything else you want to ask this gentleman before we let him go?
No, I think that's about it. My questions were answered regarding the move from Richmond to the Patriot, and really what was the underlying cause for that move, because it struck me. I was a little bit surprised by it. I wasn't so surprised about Delaware moving up to FBS. They've been hinting that way for last 2 or 3 years, really seriously. So but I was surprised that Richmond moved to the Patriot.
Again, Craig, I think it was as much who we're not playing as who we are playing. I do think there are some teams in this league that they don't move the needle a whole lot for us when we bring them to the Robins Stadium or we have to go on the road. And I'm not trying to point the finger at anybody, but we got a road game this year at Bryant in the conference, and most of our folks have never heard of Bryant. All due respect to them and the program they've got, but that was a pretty steep learning curve. But it's not just who we are playing. As I said, it's who we're not getting the opportunity to play on a regular basis. The Villanovas and New Hampshires, that we want to be playing because they're the perennial power teams in this conference. So I think that's where our frustration lied, was 16-team league was just too big for us, quite frankly.
So help us out, Bob. Go ahead, Craig. I'm sorry.
I got one question, Bob. You think that the CAA would be better off if they would break out into North and South divisions to make it a lot more amenable as far as football is concerned at this point?
Maybe.
Or have 3 teams left.
Yeah, no, I think that would be something that maybe was talked about. I don't know. I'm not, privy to those conversations. But yeah, it's a little bit of the model. If you look at the Sun Belt Conference, which also has maybe 14 teams, but Craig, to your point, I don't know if it's North or South or East or West, but the one division has JMU, Old Dominion, Georgia State, App State, all the schools in this area, and they play each other. So you're onto something there. I think that would have helped. Yes.
I would think, to me, it would seem to make sense since you got so many now North Carolina schools, or you got four North Carolina schools, and a couple in Virginia. That could easily make up the Southern Division of the CAA, and then let the Northern schools go into to our Northern Division.
Yep. The only thing with that is you want to play a couple of them, right? You want to we want to play Villanova, and we want to play New Hampshire. In addition to the North Carolina schools and obviously William and Mary we want to play. So, but I think you're onto something with that, and it just didn't happen.
So Bob, it sounds like to me, if I can read through read the tea leaves here, then the conference movement of the CAA has probably still going to be happening in a few years. Like it's still fluid.
I think so.
Okay.
And Samaj, you guys know that's the same with every conference.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're a conference commissioner right now, you better keep that piece of paper in your back pocket of potential schools that you could be calling to join your league, because it's really fluid. I mean, really fluid.
Wow. So this has been awesome. Look, Bob, I know this is after this season, we might not be on the schedule for a while, but let's make this an annual thing because you always just give us so much insight in this game on the way this landscape of college football is. So can we get you as an annual guest to show us what's going on?
Happy to do it. I love you guys. So, that's part of this breakup that I don't like because you guys do a great job. You're promoting your school. You're promoting the conference. You're promoting college football. So I'm on anytime you want me, fellas. Thank you.
All right, yes, sir. And are the kids doing good? I know you said you have a son that does broadcasting too.
Yeah, he's at Duke for the ACC network at Duke. He's been there about 5 years now and doing great, doing their games down there and loving North Carolina, to be honest with you. He's become a true resident of the Tar Heel State down there.
Okay, well, definitely there. All right, well, give everybody my regards and thank you so much, Bob, for joining us again on short notice. And good luck. Everybody stay healthy Saturday and have a great game, hopefully.
You too. Have a great rest of the season, fellas. Always enjoyed catching up with you. Great job.
All right, we'll be listening.
Sir.
Thanks, fellas.
That was Bob Black, and he has you guys. We got a lot of Aggies in the Richmond area. He has a weekly radio show on the ESPN affiliate. I guess you can check your website for what the call number is for that. But he does a live radio show during the week, and make sure you guys check him out because he talks about not just Richmond sports but everything in the whole Virginia area. And he'll of course be on the mic Saturday for our game at 2 p.m. Craig, he just started something. He didn't talk about Flow Sports. He didn't talk about the CAA in general, how he viewed it and how other people might be viewing it. It's kind of like he kind of took us behind the curtain, and I wasn't privy to all that information. that was something.
Well, the CAA is going to be undergoing changes. And you saw what happened with the Big South and the Ohio Valley. They basically had to join forces to create a football league.
Yeah.
And so, now that the NCAA has made it kind of cost prohibitive for those non-flagship state universities, Delaware is the flagship state of University of the State of Delaware. So the money for them is not that big of a deal. But for everybody else who doesn't have that, state status as being the big dog, like a New Hampshire or Long Island or those type of folks, you're going to see a lot of teams shift over the next 2 or 3 years. You really are. So I don't think anybody's safe. They may think they are, but I don't think anybody's safe.
Hey, I'll tell you what, I'm about like Bob. He the only one that didn't know much about Bryant before they showed up on the schedule. we played him in the Big South, man. Like Bryant, all right, okay. I'm glad we hadn't had to make that trip up to Bryant just yet, man. So hopefully,
what is that? Is that Rhode Island? Is Bryant in Rhode?
Tell me.
Oh yeah,
you tell me.
Hey, it's far. It's BFE. That's what it is. BFE. Yeah. Y'all know what that stands for. But
we'll take on anybody anywhere though. That hasn't changed, man.
We'd
rather be down here in Greensboro, East Greensboro, man. Sullivan and Lindsay.
So look here, guys. We're 1-4 in the season after last week, lost 45-25. Craig gave a great recap at the beginning of the show. And we're kind of reeling. Went to a press conference on Monday after South Carolina State loss. And for the second week in a row, Vincent Brown, he decided not to start off the press conference with it's a great day in Aggie land.
You're not going to hear that. You're not going to hear that until he wins a ball game.
Yep,
You're just not going to. Don't expect it.
So he went back to Aggie Pride, and even the Aggie Pride that he registered didn't have a lot of fight in it. Like somebody on our message board said he seems defeated. I'm not gonna say that. He's not defeated.
No,
he still has a lot of fight. But I can tell he's affected by this. He looks like Obama in year 7 versus year 1. Okay, he's starting to age because it ain't fun to be the head football coach of A&T in Greensboro, North Carolina, and you got I'm pretty sure William & Mary, they ain't got no BlueDeathValley.com. They don't have the this rabidness of our fan base that's going to hover over and nitpick every single thing. So I think this is an adjustment for him, and it'd be a whole lot easier if he was winning. We pray for him. We want him to keep his head up. But I can tell, Doug, you've been there. You've been on some staffs that, it's hard to find that W. Just give me an idea. What is it like internally on the staff where not only are you losing, when you look at the schedule, you don't see a lot of prospects for a quick turnaround?
Well, I didn't hear Craig's recap, but I'll say, it was a difficult weekend. Aside from the football game, there's a lot of things going on outside of the football world with the hurricane. And I thought Coach did a good job of bringing that up and commenting on that before he started his press conference. But, we think about the trip the kids took, being without power down in the hotel. I thought it was a testament to their hard work and their commitment and their focus that they were able to come out and jump off to that fast start and kind of hold it to a 10-10 ball game, take the lead in the third quarter, make it 17-10. Football's not easy. We said that last week. Coaching's not easy. It's tough, and you're not human if it doesn't wear on you, right? The wins and the losses, they both have an impact on you. That's why so many coaches and players tell you, hey, we're going to celebrate it or we're going to digest it and take it for 24 hours, and then we're going to flip the script to the next page. So you got to have that next game, next page mentality. But it's tough getting up there in front of the press conference, and I know I got to hear Samaj Marsh over there. He's going to fire off about 4 or 5 questions at me before I can even get comfortable, right? So that's tough, and nobody wants to please his fan base any more than Coach Brown. He wants to come up there and he wants to say it's a great day in Aggie land, right? He's itching to get to that next win, but it's tough. It's tough. It wears on you as a player, wears on you as a coach. I had the opportunity to talk with some of our wonderful parents this week. It's tough on the parents, right? But I want us to remember, as adults and as critics, as fans, as commentators, that, everybody involved in this thing is human, right? So whether we like it or not, words hurt, and what's said out there in the Twitter sphere has an impact on not only our players, but our program. So, I think Coach Brown's did a good job of just kind of keeping his head down, keep working. Those guys are working every day. Those kids are working every day. And, I just want people to know that it does impact them, right? Our kids don't enjoy losing. Losing is very hard. So we're down a couple guys. We've said we're missing a few guys, few starters. We saw some kids step up and have an opportunity. Cameron Darripple, the last name is tough. Man, he was running as hard as he could. Even though that piano jumped on his back on that long run.
Hey, Doug, I thought he pulled a hammer. Like, no.
He was giving everything. He was tugging along, man, everything he had. But, I was happy that he got an opportunity because, he's been working hard. And, we've had a lot of guys kind of find their spot or make a splash play, standing there for somebody. Tariq Cohen, right? We talk about Tariq's opportunity as a freshman, and he never looked back. So I'm always interested to see that guy get his first snap and see how they're going to perform and get a taste of it.
But look, Doug,
more. Go ahead.
Like Cameron, you got to think 4 weeks ago, he was probably calling home like, yeah, Mom, trust me, I do play. And she's like, I don't never see you, right?
He was on special team. He got a little special team action, but it's different when you get the coach back there, right?
Listen, as bad as this season is, as rough as it is going to each week, and you're doing your best, you're not getting a W on it. There are a lot of players on that roster who just happy to play football, and to get your opportunity, it might be doom and gloom on BlueDevilLight.com fan forum, right? It ain't doom and gloom for everybody in that building because. First of all, these guys, all the coaches, they love football. They're not doing this as a part-time job. They're not leaving, to put football and then go on UPS at night. This is all they do, right? And then
24/7, man.
And the players, man, you gotta think, man. There's guys. I asked them in a press conference. I said, how many walk-ons or people who previously were walk-on are in your 2 depth? And how many you say, Doug? You said what? 8, 7 or 8? 8. That's a lot of players. So that's a lot of guys who get opportunities who normally would not. And Cameron Darripple, I mean, he went to, I guess 2 weeks ago, he was 5th on the depth chart at running back. And now going into Richmond, him and Blizzard are probably going to be the 1-2 punch, and everybody else moves up a notch. Yep. Justin Fomby, he's going to be, I guess, the starter for right now. But then if you are Braxton Thomas, you better not. Listen. You don't need to get too far away from that field, because as soon as you turn your back, talk to somebody on the bench, go in, son.
Next man up for sure. We one play away, as they say, right? Anytime. So, yeah, and I'm happy for those kids to get an opportunity. Some of our young freshmen. Cortez Lane got a chance to get a couple more reps. I mean, he's been playing special teams and a little bit of wide receiver action. But, you get a chance to go home to your home state of South Carolina. I thought that was good that the coaches made an effort to make sure that some of our local kids got a chance to play. And next week we're going up to Virginia. We've got a lot of Virginia kids, so hopefully they'll get a chance to go up and have a good showing. But, it's football. Injuries are part of it. Y'all have heard me say before, it's not who you play, it's when you play them. And right now, it seems like every week is a tough opponent for us, just because of everybody seems loaded. But we showed some improvement, signs of improvement. You got to take the small steps, and the fact that we were in the game in the second half, came out, took the lead, and we were just another play or two away from us having the big play and possibly putting up some more points instead of giving up the big play that led to scores for the other team. So. I don't just look at the final score or the box score and say, man, we got whooped or they beat us by 25 points. Man, you got to go back and look at the tape and kind of get a feel for the game and the flow of the game. And if you go back and look at the flow of that game, we were feeling pretty good second half with the lead and just a defensive play away from getting a big turnover and possibly, going up 2 scores in that game. So, we're still learning. We're still young. Not just young as in a year older from last year or just a young roster, but we've still got a bunch of kids that haven't played a lot of college football. We've starters. I mean, Javon Dillard, this is his first year playing college football, right? First year Max getting a lot of reps at defense. So we've got some guys that are just finding their way, just getting opportunities. Of course, we've got Mittman back there, 21.
I like 21. Hey.
Oh, man. He's bringing it. He's bringing it.
Is that a natural name to call him 21 Savage? Because the dude is flying around. Listen, we like, hey, Pittman, you gonna have to. I don't know if you have to change one of the letters. Can't be like little LTTLE. You gotta be LIL. Little.
Man, we got to check with Bonnie and Bit.
But 21 Savage, man, because he's flying around making plays, and he don't care what the score is. I'm playing football. I'm out there playing football,
and that's valuable reps for him, right? Yeah. His career. Most of his career is still ahead of him, so it's good in those instances to get some guys, get some reps under their belt, regardless of how the outcome of this year turns out. But we still got a lot of football to play, guys. And, I mean, you heard a report by Bob Black. Richmond's down too.
They down too. Everybody's
this is it. Michael Jackson. We got a chance this week, man. So you go out there, you practice hard, you play hard. Justin Fomby, he's been able to have some long distance scores and put it in the air. Some chunk plays. So, man, he threw for 3 touchdowns. Give guys a chance, man. So we got a chance, man. Anytime you go out there and play football, you got a chance. Anything.
All right. So the way this works, you to inside baseball, like we don't have a script. We don't prep. I call up Craig. I call up Doug and say, yo, Wednesday, 8:00, meet me there. Right. So all these shows are organic. They kind of have a life of their own. So I'm following Doug's energy. We're going to shift. This is going to be a positive show. I can tell right now. The last couple of shows, we've been, oh, woe is me. Everything's got fired. Just got whatever. So this show, we're gonna try to find. So we're gonna focus on the positives. Craig, give me something. Name some players who stood out for you that you are positively optimistic, encouraged by.
The consistency of Jakari Caldwell at wide receiver.
Okay.
He has really stepped up for this year and has become the guy that I thought he could be when he first came here.
Yeah.
He's playing this. He's really playing good, solid football. And he's working with the younger receivers to get some things done. I was very impressed with Terrell Dudley this past Saturday, playing in that middle.
Yeah.
He and Mac were putting some hits on some people. They were rocking some people in the middle. So I think those guys are Trey Mittman at safety has looked really good. Aaron Harris is, is basically a do everything type guy. I was, it's coming along. As far as the younger players, we were in a situation, and I was talking to my wife, who's the football aficionado around our house.
Okay.
She knows the game.
Yeah.
And she said this is a unique opportunity this year because this, it is what it is. But you have an opportunity to play. You've got a lot of freshmen and sophomores on this team, and this is an excellent time of the year, especially in these next few games, to go ahead and play some of those kids that you may have decided to redshirt, but to go ahead and give them some playing time, and just put them out there and see exactly what they can do. You might be surprised. I believe we did that last year. We put some kids out there late, and we found out that we had a couple gems out there, and we did it. I think we did it during Sam Washington, the 4 and 7 season. We put out some young kids out there, and they turned out to be pretty good football players. So it's an opportunity, I think, to go ahead and give those guys a shot. Because I always say, if you're not going to play them, why did you recruit them? So
you're right about that.
I live and die by that. If you're not gonna play them, why in the hell did you recruit them? So I would like to see us maybe pull off the wraps off these guys for a couple of games. The coaches will have to pick and choose which games they're going to put them in. But I think this weekend, with Richmond being beat up, we're a little bit beat up too. Might not be a bad idea to take a couple of those young defensive linemen that we're trying to bat stock, and just give them some game reps this week and see what they can do. You might be surprised. There's a couple of those kids in there that can really play.
Well, Craig, you're right, man. And traditionally you try to get those kids in early, in your non-conference schedule, first 4 game of the season. But the way the schedule sets up and the way the season unfolded, we haven't quite had that opportunity. And just like last year, like you said, I'd like to see some of those guys get opportunity as they continue to get healthy. Some of those young guys had injuries early on and weren't able just to crack the starting lineup. But I'll tell you this, as excited as I am to see some of the young guys, I got to give my game ball and tip my cap to some of our old heads, our seniors, man. I was really happy to see Henry Daniel have the game that he had.
Oh, man.
He was all over the place.
He was good.
He had 2 big tackles for loss and then changed the whole tenor of those drives. He just stopped.
I'm telling you, man, those plays and then the play made by Sumter, the interception that he broke on that you posted earlier today, man. Ooh, I was so happy for those guys. Those are those plays where you feel like, hey, man, we might have this one. Like we're here to play today. And you love when you're senior, when you have a senior laden team. But if you got some seniors that can step up and make some plays and do it, lead by example, right? I always say, man, sometimes you just need a guy to make a play. And we had some of those plays Saturday, needed a few more, but when those guys make big plays and the sideline gets going and the band strikes up, you got that real sense, true feeling of Aggie pride, man. And you need moments like that so those guys can feel what it's like when that Aggie pride starts permeating throughout the stadium and that momentum gets to shift. So I think we'll probably talk about some plays later when that happened. I got a feeling that you got your mic plugged up and you'll probably try to sing a song here later concerning 3 plays. But man, there were a couple plays in that ball game that I really felt like, man, that could have turned the tide. We just didn't have enough of them go our way, man. So that's tough. We're still learning. I think coach will tell you that firsthand, man. You have to learn how to win, and that's part of the process.
Yeah, it's tough, man.
Learning through that, man. And till you do it, you're still learning it, right? So some teams have been there, and we've had some teams in the past. It didn't matter what the score was. I think you heard Jalen talk about that when he was on a few weeks ago. It didn't matter what the score was against Campbell during that homecoming game. The team never batted an eye, never thought they were going to lose the game or they were out of the game. So until you develop that type of mentality where you're like, man, I don't care if we're down 2 scores, 3 scores, 5 scores until that clock strikes 0. We got a chance, right? You know, kind of like Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, man. If there's time on that clock, or Tom Brady, should I say, the great Tom Brady, when there's time on that clock, man, enough possessions, it's going to be close in the end. So we'll get there. We're still chipping away at it. Hopefully we get there sooner than later. And
I'll tell you somebody else, and I didn't mean him to leave him out because I watched him. I've been watching him closely for the last 2 weeks, and I really like his hustle. I really like his tenacious attitude and how he comes off the edge with he comes off the edge with a lot of energy. The big 0, Joshua Hardy.
I highlight him on Twitter.
For a guy who has not played, he hadn't played football in a couple of years, and transferred in here to Boston from Boston College. But he's getting cranked up. You ever see players that you know they got some really good physical skills and talent, and it takes them a little while to get acclimated? Well, this guy's really getting cranked up because he was a beast. He was a beast on that end on Saturday night. He's got, I think now through these last 2 games, he's got 3 or 4 sacks. He had a couple. I think he had a couple sacks too at South Carolina State. So I think between him and Daniels, I think we're in good shape as far as the ends are concerned.
I was gonna say that we got like a nice little bookend now. Him and Daniels are like a formidable defensive end combo, and you can't double team one of them because the other one's gonna get his burst in and make a play. And they made some impactful plays. They were not just getting close; they were actually getting there and changing. Like I said, I put on Twitter, he saved us 3 points at the end of the half. He actually got these guys out of field goal territory right before the half, and we went in 10-10.
And all of his sacks look explosive, man. He had the big one against Wake. He had the big one against Central. It drew 15 yards, but it was he did his job. And then, like you said, the week against South Carolina State. So he applied some pressure on the edge. Got to have him play a little under control at times. Got to continue to be a great teammate to your teammates and to the coaching staff. Got to be coachable. But he's a good young man, and he's learning the Aggie way, right? He's learning the Aggie way. So keep working hard, keep pushing, but make sure we're doing it within the team, right?
Now one thing about Hardy, and I don't know him that well. I've spoken to him offline couple times, but he wears his emotions on his sleeve. Like he cares, and that's kind of a problem because he's kind of always just, but he cares, man. He's like he just. I mean, you ain't got to worry about passion.
He's got the passion.
I'd much rather have a whole bunch of guys I got to calm down than a whole bunch of guys I got to pump up, because then you really got a problem. Right. You know what I'm saying? And really, all our defensive linemen need. You know what they need, Dougie? They need the ball on the stick. You ever seen that? Get like a little piece of PVC, whatever, and then like this tie a football to it, and then you hike it, and then you say hike, and sometimes So basically, they listen to the snap count instead of watching the ball. If they just practice seeing that center snap that ball, then going, they won't have no more offside penalties, and then we'd be ready to roll, man. But another guy, Dougie, who stepped up and who was kind of had a lot of acclaim coming into the season, but we were still waiting to see the best of him, was Justin Fomby. And I think he kind of finally showed us the upside that we had been hearing about when he came here from Houston Christian. He showed us the bad Fomby too, because that decision making in the third quarter, I still don't know what he was throwing to in that triple coverage, but when he gets his feet set and when his eyes are not lying to him, when he sees down the field, he throws a football, man. He throws a beautiful spiral, and he can make every throw, and he can anticipate throws. He was throwing some nice slants in traffic. If he can just calm down a little bit and take the game as it's coming to him.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. Not try to force it.
That's it.
If he gets away from forcing it, if he stops trying to force a play or make a play when there's no play, and just go ahead and get rid of it, wait for the next series.
Yeah.
quarterback. But you're right. You're right, Shimon. He's got the tools. That cat, the man can throw the ball. He can throw the ball. But he just had, he just have to, he has to understand that he has to play to the situation and not to let the situation play him.
Right. So let me pull up some video, Fomby. Hopefully,
that meant, but they always around.
All right. So is that blurry? Is that good for you guys? How's that looking, Dougie, on your end?
Crystal clear.
Okay. So this is Justin Fomby against South Carolina State, and some of his throws that he
on the ball.
Back to pass, looking, gonna throw this one deep, near side. Oh my goodness, what a grab. They're fighting for it inside the 5.
That's an incredible throw. I mean, let me go back and show y'all. I just want y'all to see that. He slid, and one thing about football, about quarterback play, you got to have your base, right? You got to have a solid base to get the power into your throw. And he lost his base, slid, and regained his balance, and then threw a beautiful ball to a receiver. And Doug, I told you this on the phone. Javion Dillard, he's just a bigger version of you, Doug. He's just a taller Doug Brown. I'm talking about he has a similar body type.
Yeah.
He he ain't the fastest guy in the world, but he can get separation. Like Doug, I don't care how fast you were, they couldn't stay next to you. And he loves to make big plays, man. I love number 5. I got 5 on it for real.
Understood what that meant, but they always around the ball.
Yeah, slip. Now that's a great recovery. Didn't panic. And
back to pass, looking.
Standing there and took one too.
Deep, near side. Oh.
That's a good point, Doug. He stood in the fire and didn't blink and just do that strike. And this is something honestly that we didn't have all last year, right? We didn't have a lot of this one big splash play to go 45, 50 yards in the air. We could kind of dink and dunk, and KJ could kind of scramble and run for 40 some yards. But we didn't have a consistent drop back passing game. So as bad as things look on paper, 1-4, all these injuries, woe is us. If we get Fomby and number 5 hooking up, and then 3 back, and I don't know what the deal, Warren, hopefully he'll be back this year. We got some healthy weapons, right? They gotta stay healthy, but we got some healthy weapons. Obviously, we're not as strong as we were in the running game. I don't care who's next man up. Kendrick Christian was the best running back in FCS football, so losing him is a huge loss. I'm not gonna sugarcoat that, downplay that. Losing 7 is major, but we got running back by committee. I want Darryl Ripple to get on that track and we're gonna speak.
I was hitting that X button for him. I was hitting that X button. Man, that's good stuff though.
Yeah, but like I say, don't throw in the towel, Aggies, just yet. Okay, especially on the offensive side of the ball. We'll talk about defense, but on the offensive side of the ball, it can still be interesting any given Saturday because we got some weapons.
My goodness, what a grab. They're fighting for it inside the 5. My, oh my, what a catch by Javion Dillard.
So we've had, 3 or 4 chunk plays in the last 2 weeks, over 40-plus yards down the field. We had one to Warren against Central late in the second half.
Yeah.
And then we had 2 this game, the touchdown to Jakari Caldwell, and then pass to Dillard there. So we're getting the ball down the field a little bit.
Affect the outcome of a game.
Flash and fake. Fomby throws. Got a wide open receiver at the 20, 15. Brought down there.
That's still clear for everybody? That's good?
Yep.
And that was Javion Dillard once again.
So I love it. He feels comfortable because, the new and improved Doug Brown is getting him looks. So he's getting into those spots, and he's like, okay, that's number 5. Let me hit him. By the way, Doug, did he ask you for permission to get that 5, or did y'all talk about it? What's the deal with that?
I just pass it on, man. Next man up, I guess.
Okay.
You got to pass it on, but it's good luck. I think it's good luck for him so far. So hopefully he can keep it going, man.
Okay.
Gotta get in that box.
Ball showing pressure. Fomby back to pass, throws over the middle. That is caught by the.
Like I say, these are not easy, soft arm throws. you got to have some pepper to even have the wherewithal to try to drive that ball on that skinny post in there. Like Fomby can do things that I think KJ White has a strong arm too, but Fomby is rare. He gives us a chance to do things that most offenses at this level aren't able to do consistently, and just got to cut the turnovers out.
Receiver there at the 30-yard line. Out of Wendell, North Carolina.
See that? You see that anticipation? Like he sees that he's splitting between that corner and that safety, but he don't care because he got that laser, and he knows he can put that thing right where it needs to be. And you can't place the ball any better than that. If he throws that thing a yard behind him, that might just be tipped and be an interception or something like that. But he's a gunslinger, and he's fearless.
Good job, Thomas Brown. He's been consistent too.
Yeah, he's like I said, he's one of those guys too. Just coach, give me a chance. Give me a chance.
But keep points off the board.
Look at this. Look at this.
That's the best play of the game right there.
Yes, he did, sir. He did. Man, look. Good night, guys. I'm about to start being optimistic. Forget about just not being down. I'm about to actually be up because if we can just somehow just pull the good stuff out of this and just spread off for 4 quarters.
Yeah, eliminate the turnovers and the mental errors.
Back shoulder from how long was that, Doug? How far was that?
30 yards.
35, 40 yards, 35, somewhere in there.
Oh my goodness, did he make that grab? Touchdown, North Carolina A&T.
Wait, hold on a second. Is that Mr. Hands Like Feet? Is that Hands Like Feet?
That's Carvin Caldwell, yes.
That's another South Carolina native that went home and had a good weekend, man. So happy for Jakari too. Got 2 in there in the box Saturday. It's big time, man.
My man, he made me eat my words because that's hands like glue.
Man, you said he had hooves last year. That was low, but he was dealing with some stuff last year. He's back. He's ready. So
look at that play by. Okay, so that was a great throw. That's the only place you want to put that ball, right? But for Caldwell to make that adjustment and then not only readjusting the air, he turned, he dove, and then he got both hands on that ball and then pulled it in without the ball hitting the ground. That might be the play of the year so far, just from just some offensive perspective.
A little out and up, great ball placement there, and just a great reception, great catch.
Back to pass, throws this one over the middle, caught, touchdown, walks in.
I'm telling you guys, we didn't have this before. I'm trying to go back to when we consistently had this, man. This is how we were dealing in that Celebration Bowl against Alcorn. When the quarterback just felt that good, he put his foot down and just let that thing rip, and the receivers were there and catching stuff in stride. Look how beautiful this is, Doug. Let's look at this.
Back to pass, throws this one over the middle, caught, touchdown, walks in.
All right, so what's the major question mark we always get on our board? How come we don't throw to the tight ends? How come we don't throw to the tight ends? Doug. That's a tight end, right?
Tight end.
Yep.
And so, Craig, what happens is now that you seeing him spread the ball out, I just showed you, that's 3 different people in 4 clips, right? Every receiver is going to be running a route a whole lot harder, right? Because they know that there's a chance that ball might be coming to me. And I might get a chance to do something. It ain't gonna be in my ankles. I might be catching a thing right in my face mask, and can catch it and go and get some yaks, some yards after catch. So
we got banged up a tight end this past week too, didn't we?
Did we? We didn't lose him, did we?
Yeah. Well, we didn't lose him, but he got
hyperextension of the knee. And we do a good job of dunking it off to the tight ends a lot, to the flat. So we stretched him vertically a little bit. So he jumped over his guy. He planted his leg and had a little hyperextension before. So hopefully it's nothing serious.
Okay, so that brings me to our this other thing. So I got I've been getting a lot of calls, a lot of emails, a lot of text messages from people who want us to bring up questions, but they don't want, they kind of want to remain anonymous. That's fair. But one of the questions was if we are seeing an influx of injuries and players running out of gas, I guess in the second half, what changes will be made to strength and conditioning? So I think that's you brought that up, Doug. But I mean, you didn't bring it up, but you point out all the injuries. Doug, Craig, do you think at some point we need to look at what we're doing, just from a preventative aspect? Because it seems like this is an unusual amount of injuries for a roster this early in the year.
Well, I think you got to take a look at the type of injuries, right? Whether it's soft tissue, whether they were fractures and compounds. I mean, Wesley Graves, hell, he's been an Iron Man since he got here, right? But if anybody has some wear and tear or could have wear and tear from their performance and the style of football they play, it doesn't surprise me that Wes might have an injury here or there, but he's been able to play through it. He's had a wrist or fingers or whatever. He's had little nagging injuries, but if you can go through a career of college football and not get hurt or have to miss games due to injury, then you're pretty lucky or you're fortunate, right? So injuries are part of the game, especially when you take precautions like we did with Karan when he had the head injury. You're always going to err on the side of caution. Kids have a little more leverage these days in terms of whether or not they want to go out there and play, or perhaps redshirt, which Coach mentioned that he hadn't had any kids that wanted to offer up their red shirt or kind of remove themselves from competition. So that's a plus. But if I'd be more concerned if we were having a lot of hamstrings and calf injuries, the cramping in the early games of the year, everybody in the nation was cramping. So we're not seeing that anymore. If we were still seeing guys cramp up, now you play enough snaps on offense and defense, you're gonna tire out a little bit in the fourth quarter, especially when your depth is compromised. But we hadn't had too many soft tissue injuries. Kenji's a different story. He plays running back. He actually does a lot of running, and those things are kind of freaky. Once they settle in, we talked about how tough they are to kind of eradicate in the middle of a season. So you're kind of at this point in the season, like Coach said, ain't nobody coming off the waiver wire. Like, you're not picking up any new talent that way. So you just kind of press through it. Some of those injuries will heal over time. Some of them, the kids will play through them. And the saying goes, you're never as healthy as you are the first day of the season, right? And you're battling. It's that war of attrition throughout the season, regardless if you're out for a game or out for the season. So you just have everybody's fighting that same battle. But I do think it's something that you'll take a look at in the offseason and analyze and quantify, who got hurt, how long were they out, how did we manage it, how did we treat it? We've had pretty much the same medical staff for numerous years. So you feel pretty good about your medical staff on that end. So, that's all data that you'll collect and try to get better from it. So sometimes football happens, but
hey, so what is it? So let's just, if anybody has any information here, Craig, do you know what is KJ White's injury? Was that
not a soft tissue?
It's not a soft tissue. It's not a soft tissue injury. He's done. He's done for the year. The type of injury that he suffered, I won't go into a lot of details on it. The type of injury he suffered is going to, you're talking 4 to 8 weeks, or I should say 8 to 12 weeks at least. Because it's the type of injury that if you try to play it, you're going to just create permanent damage. If you let it heal, he'll be fine. But realistically, you don't want to put a kid at risk. And
what about Kenji? You know anything on him? Kenji Christian?
I mean, it's a hamstring. I mean, and Doug can tell you, Hammy's gonna heal when they heal.
Hammy's gonna heal when they heal. Yeah, man.
Yeah. Sometimes some guys will heal in 3 or 4 weeks. Other guys will, it'll take 8, 9 weeks. You don't want to pull a hamstring. You don't want to go out there and put a guy out there who's got a hamstring. And he came out, he tried to play in the Central game and obviously he re-aggravated it.
I think he came back too soon. Yeah. And now if anybody wants to, file a complaint, I think that might be an area where we should maybe have aired a little more on the side of caution. I know it was emotional, marquee game. Everybody wants to beat Central. Hell, nobody wants to beat Central than us three, right? But I do think in retrospect, we might have got him healthy and won that battle, that end up losing the war. Because like I would much.
Well, to be fair, the doctors had cleared him, and he just happened to re-injured on that long run against Central. Because otherwise, if he doesn't tweak that hamstring again, he's in the end zone. And you at that point, you just go ahead and just set him down, because if you get him out there and he tears it, then you got a serious injury. It takes a long time to recover from. So better for him to just take whatever time he needs to take and give that thing plenty of rest and conditioning, and do whatever his orthopedic surgeons tell him to do. So that thing will get straight and not tighten up on him, and get back to normal.
Yeah. Hey, we're not playing marbles. This is football. These guys have been playing with and through injuries probably since the time that they started playing football. And so, I know a few guys that would have been upset had they learned that he was cleared and cleared to play and didn't play. There would have been questions on the other end. Yeah. Coach, why didn't Kendrick Pearson play, or was he not ready to go? And those guys are gnawing at the bit to get out there, man. He's a competitor.
Yeah,
he's a
difference
maker.
They want to compete.
He wants to play. I always laugh about Coach Hayes. He tells a story how he played center with 2 dislocated shoulders. All right, so that's my injury story that I always tell, man. That shows how much a true football player wants to get out there, regardless. And again, joints and shoulders and ankles are a lot different than soft tissue injuries. We've seen Caesar and some of the offensive linemen battle through some pesky injuries that are just seem to be there and not go away. But they're a lot different than soft tissue injuries. So all those guys are tough. They're doing their best, man.
So you're confident everybody's good, that our process is good. We don't need to worry about that we're doing something. We're injuries are always kind of hit or miss, and we just kind of got more than usual this year. But you guys are confident that we're doing our due diligence, right?
Yeah, I think there's enough modern technology out there now that you're not coming up with remedies in the back room, right? And some special concoctions on that he's got to drink to get back out there, man. We don't have Mr. B's old stem machine, and if we had Mr. B's old stem machine, man, everybody be ready to go this week, because that thing will get you right like 35 minutes.
Yeah. And now we haven't talked about, we got a new nutritionist, and I forget the young lady's name. I apologize. I'll mention it next week. Give her some kudos. But hopefully she's making impact and getting these guys stronger and healthier, and then it'll probably pay off in the future. So, and this is her first year, I believe, create with the program. And we might need to get her on the show, man. I think I'm not sure if they've done a Blue Death embargo. I don't know if anybody else can come on the show for a while. We'll reach out anyway. We'll call that bluff. We'll find out. So let me get back to the highlights though, because Fomby was dealing.
For the score, 2 plays, touch. That is Anthony Rucker, the tight end from Orlando.
Doug, you couldn't have flown a drone and dropped a package into his hand better than that. I mean, that was beautiful. Just great velocity, just great arc on the ball. Like I said, if he can just not throw it to the other jersey, we'd be cooking with grease, man.
Wow. Just like that.
Just like that, too. Did a great job of looking the safety off here and coming back and throwing a wide open tight end.
Good throw. Good job giving the ball to the referee, celebrating with your teammate. That's how you draw it up, man.
That's a Doug Brown special right there.
I love it.
Looking, pressured, throws, and that's a catch and a first down.
And listen,
go ahead. But I would say, Doug, I like the fact that we're not just taking, like, you can scheme like a screen or a slant, but he was throwing like little comebacks in the middle of the field. Everybody was always like, how come y'all don't attack the middle of the field? How come y'all don't throw the tight end? with Fomby, because he's 6'3.5" probably. He stands up tall in the pocket. He has a good release point, so he's a full 6'3". He's not throwing sidearm where he's 5'11" when it comes down to it. He's a full 6'3". Great mechanics. So we're able to do things that we have not been able to do before, and so everything is open now. Those deep outs, those glance routes, anything in the middle where like KJ might have had a hard time seeing some stuff. Fomby is throwing that thing, But go ahead, Doug.
I'll tell you one thing, man. I was highlighting another kid that I want to give a shout out to. Monte, Monte Jones. He think is one of our better route runners. And I think he makes really good plays on and off schedule, right? He has a knack for getting open, working his way back to the football when it's in scramble mode, and just makes himself available as a target. And, a lot of his play goes unnoticed, but you'll see him throughout the course of a game, make the extra move to shake free, create some separation. And he's been sure-handed for us. Almost made an outstanding diving catch in the end zone.
I think I get that. Hold on. I think
beat the team also.
I think this is it. Hold on.
Look past this. Fomby gonna fire this one into the end zone.
Wow, almost.
Good. I had to put that in the highlight package because I was like, I don't give a damn if y'all didn't catch that ball. Both of y'all got to get some kudos for just the effort, the attempt, the pass, the route. I mean, this is big play football.
I think you'll see him. Yeah.
Look, let me show you.
You're gonna see him continue to make an impact, man, because he's a quarterback's best friend. Regardless of his stature, he knows how to play the game. He's got those little nuances that make you a quality receiver. So that was good effort.
It looked like he almost had a crack at it.
He wanted that one back.
That would have been an unbelievable catch if he secured that one.
That would have definitely probably been a top 10 on ESPN SportsCenter.
Woo! Right there.
Almost.
Right there, Dougie.
I mean, I don't even think he picked it up too late. He did a good job of, adjusting to it and getting his hands in position. Just couldn't squeeze it, and made contact with the ground and came out of there. But good job, man. Good effort.
He's gonna catch one like that this year. I'm gonna put that on there. I think he's gonna actually replay that same play, and this time he's gonna catch it. Because he's that close.
Great diving catch too.
Oh, it was pass. Fomby looking, throwing.
It's hard pass. Listen, guys, that little quick out. It's you got to throw it on time. It's a big boy throw.
Got the first down, forced out of bounds. Last gas here for the Aggies. Little crossing route, and that is caught for the first down.
It's 4th and 5. I had to put that in there because these guys are still balling, Craig. They ain't quitting.
That's what I was looking for.
People on the A&T fan forum, they might be quitting and find things to do after the homecoming, but these guys ain't quitting.
Yeah, and we didn't put up a ton of points, but I got to give a little bit of credit to Coach Marsh, man. I thought he did a good job in the red zone late in the game, man. This was a 4th and 5 play. There were some good plays that I think he dropped some good plays, and the kids made some good athletic plays to keep the drives alive. But when we got down there and scored the last touchdown, I think we ended up going for 2. And if I'm not mistaken, and I thought that was a good design as well. So he did some things to get some guys open, make it easy for his quarterback. So, it's something to build on. Again, this is just Fomby's, he's played a game and a half so far, somewhere in there. So
might see Cortez today, and there he was.
Building. Cortez got a catch, that's right.
2nd and goal, trying to punch it in here. Fomby with the rush.
So this was good.
Caught, touchdown, Aggies.
The guys knew where they were going with the football. He knew what he was looking for. Quick decision.
And these guys went to the Doug Brown School celebration because they know they down. Ain't no point doing the funky Watusi when you're down, 21 points. Get the ball to the ref, and then let's go ahead and let's run this 2-point conversion, right? Because we still got a chance. We still got some fight.
And that is Jakari Caldwell for 6.
That's when the pass interference.
This is that play design you said, Doug. I think the tight end comes across from a skinny.
So pre-snap, we hustled to the ball. We had multiple formation changes or shifts that kind of got the defense out of whack. We knew what we were trying to do. They had no clue. Yeah. But I think it's good when you have a plan and everybody on the field, all 11 guys knew what we were doing. We looked efficient. We looked polished and went out there and executed the play. That's good football.
Having to play there.
Jalen Levine.
Oh, there he is. They snuck in. You see how
2 guys running wide open. 2 guys will be running wide open.
Let's see how
Aggies.
hold on.
And that is Jakari Caldwell for 6.
That's when.
All right, so you got a guy in motion, Dougie, and then you got guys bunched up here on the right, and one of those guys slips through the cracks.
Pass interference come into play there.
Jalen Levine.
Woo!
Flagship.
And you know what? I think it's a good job by Coach Marsh, breaking down film, right? South Carolina State gave up that same play against against FAMU.
FAMU,
that game of the season. They look confused, and you called them out on that. You said they look discombobulated. So they ain't figured that out yet. And that's good coaching to go to the film and say, hey, they have trouble with this. We're gonna run it down around the goal line. Should be open. There it was. So
hey, like I say, man, I understand football's it's a bottom line business. You gotta have some W's. Coach Brown don't have a lot of them. He had one last year. Got one so far, and it's gonna be like you look at spades and all you guys clubs and 2s and 3s. So it's gonna be hard to find a few more wins this year based on the schedule. But I hope he can stick around because I like Coach Marsh. I see the vision of Coach Marsh, what he wants to do. I like the way he's able to just roll with the punches. His starting quarterback went out for this year. He goes to Plan B, and Plan B ends up having one of the best games of quarterback in a couple of years. So I think it's just the first time since I think I got Jalen Fowler in 2022, maybe when we had 3 touchdowns by a quarterback in one game. So we, like I told you, we got a lot of pieces here. I'm not sure how well the pieces all mesh, but individually we got some talent, we got some good coaches. We just got to find a way to bring it together. So that was Justin Fomby, some of his exploits, his highlights from South Carolina State. So Craig, we got a few minutes here. You've been having your kind of finger to the pulse of Aggie Nation. You've been hearing things in your capacity as the president of AAF. What are the next few weeks looking like for Coach Brown? Has the angry mob kind of calmed down a little bit?
Yeah, it has. It has.
Okay.
It has. Yeah.
So
yeah, it has. There's still some people carrying pitchforks, but for the most part, A&T's folks are going to they're going to wait and see how the rest of the season transpires, and they're going to be watching the off season exceptionally close. What we do in December and January and in February during those peak recruiting seasons, and I think that I think most. I was talking to some A&T Hall of Famers the other night. I was at the premiere of the new documentary, the new five-part documentary that's going to be coming out about A&T, the history of A&T. Our Blues Make Us Go, and they.
I saw that on social media.
Yeah, I saw that. They previewed a section of it, a large, one part of it, of the series, of the mini series, and on Monday night, and it was excellent. It's going to be on the Xfinity TV. You'll be getting emails. If you're an alumni, you'll be getting emails about it and how to see it. You'll be able to see it on the Xfinity streaming or on their YouTube channel. And I think that's coming out like October the 14th, if I'm not mistaken. But it's a brilliant piece. But anyway, I was talking to some A&T Hall of Famers, and some people were fairly high up in the influence structure as far as A&T is concerned. I think the thing is that we got to make sure we don't get into a rush decision. I know there's a faction out there that won't, they want to fire a coach. Every time a coach loses a game, they want to fire a coach.
Yeah.
We've seen that before. But given the circumstances by which he came in to this job, given what he had to deal with when he first got here, this year really being the first real year, and with the injury situation being the way it is, patience. I think most of the A&T members or AAF and AAF or alumni are willing to give him the time that he needs to. They're willing to give it that third year to really see.
Third year,
yeah. Just really see that improvement. See if the improvement in the program takes a foothold at that point.
That's the number I've been hearing too. Anybody who's talking about anything happening this year, I mean, first of all, it's not really appropriate to be talking about somebody when they still fighting. But just we're fans, so we can talk about it. But the anybody think about anything happening this year it's a pipe dream. No, Deuce Martin don't have the wherewithal just to come in here and make a football change without even getting a chance to take a lay of the land and assess everything. He's an engineer by trade too, right? So he's going to be unemotional, analytical, and he's going to take his time. So, but hopefully this year we'll have enough positive things to happen that won't even be a question this time next year, right? We'll see the progress that we need to see. We'll see the plan, the growth, and then we'll all be all in for 2025, right? But we know it's already 90 minutes here. So Doug, I'm gonna give you're gonna be the tiebreaker here. Some people they love music, right? Some people love music, and some people not really big fans of the classics. So you say yay or nay, Dougie. How you feeling tonight?
Man, I need a little R&B.
What? Y'all heard? Hey, chat.
Just a little bit, man.
Chat. Y'all hear that?
Yeah. I can do it. I need it now. Yeah.
Y'all hear that? So I got a question for you, Craig.
Yeah.
When was the last time they heard you say this play changed the momentum? All right, Dougie, come on now. When was the last time they heard you say this play affected the outcome?
Oh,
come on, y'all. These three plays. All right, y'all.
Plays.
Three plays. Okay, so we got three.
Getting better.
I'm trying, man. I've been working. I actually got a voice coach that I hired just to make sure that I hit those notes because it's getting Christmas season. So everybody in my neighborhood, we go around, we do Christmas caroling, and then we take it to the other side of town. We're gonna be Claremont, and we're gonna be on the hill Christmas time too. We're gonna walk through everywhere. Everybody's gonna get this joy. So y'all be looking out for us all around town. But yes,
joy.
Christmas Carol. So here you go. These three plays from South Carolina State. Hold on, pull it up.
Third down and about 14 yards.
All right, so Dougie, you mentioned this one. This is 10-10. So we are. Let me set the stage here. We are tied up. We just scored on that touchdown pass. We were down 10-3. And we scored a touchdown pass and Fomby. We showed that. And now it's 3rd and 14. And, I love my man, Coach Jay-Z, but he struggles on 3rd and 14. But here, we actually get a little bit of pressure, and we collapse the pocket a little bit. And let's check what happens.
To go, Phoenix, 3-step drop. Looking, going to fire this one over the middle. That is almost intercepted. Oh, my. Brings up 4th down in the punt unit.
So ironically, it looks like the same call from the Delaware game, the 3rd and 22, when we had them backed up in their own territory towards their own goal line. When we dropped,
no,
it's similar. We've got 3 down linemen rushing. We've got our nose guard dropping back in the coverage in the zone.
No, because we got
the same thing.
We got, first of all, we got 5 guys in the box. We had 2 guys in the box. We had 3 guys in the box last in that Delaware.
We got 3 down linemen. And we got back in the 3rd one, then it's dropping back in the coverage.
And we got
44. That's
44 doing something. Yeah, all right.
He's a linebacker. He's a linebacker.
All right,
Mr. Williams there. But look at that dancing bear right there at we're about the 23-yard line, 24-yard line. Eyes on the quarterback, right in the passing lane, getting ready to make the defensive play of his life. If he could have come down with the interception. But that's one of those times when you kind of question the scheme and what's going on, and then you see it kind of work, right? Get guys in place right where South Carolina State wanted to go with the football. So unfortunately we weren't able to come up with the interception, but it looks like guys were doing their job. You see Mr. Hardy coming off the edge, applying a little pressure, hurrying to throw a little bit, kept the quarterback in the pocket, and
that was the difference. That was the difference between 3rd and 19 in Delaware. Because look at that pocket collapse, and we got them from all 4 sides. We got it from the inside and the left and the right. That's what you want to do. Wall this guy in, make him make a throw under some duress, and guess what? Lo and behold, bad things happen. Right. So look at this. That's an athletic play, just to get your hand up there, and then he wants the ball, and he's thinking, man, I ain't got space and opportunity. Oh man, now number 76.
He walks into the end zone if he snaps that.
76 in blue might make a try, but I don't think he's gonna catch this dude because he sees this is my only chance of getting a career touchdown. I ain't nobody tackling me.
And the coverage looks good on the back end. We're right in his hip pocket on the in breaking receiver. So
yeah. And then Mike David, you got to trust your teammate, man. You saw that he had a chance with that ball. You just think there ain't no way Big Boy gonna catch this ball. Let me go get it and do my thing. And Big Boy is upset.
Let's see why they're celebrating.
Oh,
got a hand on it.
So I'm gonna tell you why that's one of the 3 plays, because if we get that, we got 6 minutes left, right? So if we get that interception, at the very least, we probably kick a field goal with Money Brown, who's I think 9 out of 10 this year. Only missed field goal was a block. It probably wasn't even his fault. So he's money for real. We would have got some points out of that, and then we got an opportunity to not go into the half 10-10, which we did, but we can probably go up 17-10 or at least 13-10, and then we get the ball back, so we get a 2-for-1. We get the ball back at the beginning of the 3rd quarter, and did we get the ball back from the 3rd quarter?
Actually, we got a
stop. We 3 and out.
No, they got the ball back. Yeah,
they got the ball back, but we quick 3 and out.
We scored 2 plays.
But the whole thing is they are chasing points. If we get this field goal, we get that touchdown, they go into halftime for a whole different game plan, because now they got to have a little more to chase points. And I know offensive coordinators, they get gun shy when you have an interception, and especially when it's a tight game. And so they might not be throwing as much. They might just be more conservative, hand the ball off, because they don't want to have another pick 6 or interception that sets up a field goal. So this was one of the 2 times or 2 moments in the ball game when I felt like we really had the momentum. I think we had just scored a touchdown, and when we almost made that pick, I mean, the stadium, even on TV, Oliver C. Dawson Stadium was quiet, right? That large home crowd was out of the game at this point. We had just scored the touchdown from Fomby to what was that? That's the one in the corner end zone.
Yeah.
I think to Caldwell. So
at this point, I think it's pretty safe to say that the game wasn't going in the way that South Carolina State fans hoped or thought it would have gone. So that creates a little bit of anxiety, and things get a little tight around there, and you could feel it. I mean, you could tell. So when we didn't make this play, I mean, our fans were on the edge of a seat, playing with house money, feeling good, almost had to pick. And at that point, I know the Aggies were feeling pretty good about being in the game and having a chance to win the game late in the second half. And then, of course, the other time was when we were up 17-10, and I thought we had all the momentum. But it swings quickly.
Yeah. So here it gets. Now it's 17-7. We went up 17-10 on that throw to the tight end. Like you said, Craig, we stopped them on the first drive of the third quarter on defense, and we went back down the field immediately, went up 17-10. That might be the first lead we've had since Winston-Salem State, right?
Second half. Yes, since Winston-Salem State.
Yeah, and so things are like, we're feeling like we in there, like we can answer back to back, right?
Not true. We did lead against Central when the kickoff return.
We did. Yep. 6-0. You're right. Yeah. But like you said, Craig, this late in the game, we're there. Yeah. So we go up 17-10. They come back and they, to their credit, they have a great drive, and they get in the box. They answer immediately. It's 17-17. Now we're in dog fight for real, right? And on 3rd and 10, this is where the bad Fomby from Houston Christian comes back, and I just don't understand the thought process here, because all we need to do is trust our punter. If you don't have it, check it down. There's got to be a better option than this right here.
Man in motion, puts him in the slot. Fomby.
Staring out on receiver right now. And like, if you're going to throw that thing, throw it now. You can't be late on something like this, because this happened.
Drops back. Pressure. Throw.
And then I guess it was just a high throw. So it was a bad throw, and he was late. And I guess it don't matter if it was late, because it was high anyway. So I thought he was throwing to the guy on the 32-yard line. He might have been trying to throw it to the guy on the 38-yard line. I don't know what he was doing. That was a bad turnover, and it was in enemy territory. And the momentum of it happened right after they scored. So just like when we scored and almost had a turnover, they scored and they get a turnover. And that's the difference. Like some teams are making plays that we're not making, and that's it's small, but that's the deciding factor. Yeah, Craig. But I guess you gotta live and die with that, right? He's gonna make some throws, and he's gonna kind of want some throws back, huh?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. It's tough. 3rd and 10, man. They're sitting at the sticks. We had a guy underneath, had 2 guys underneath. They were kind of open. Sometimes you take that and dump it down and see if you can get to the sticks. But I'm not sure if he was going for a deep guy or overthrew a guy. But I mean, there's 3 guys over there, and they were all pretty close to the football. So that didn't work out. And I think, some of it's not just decision making. When you have a big arm and you can make throws, I think you have confidence that you can make the impossible throws sometimes, and as a receiver, I'm not totally upset with you for throwing the ball my way, right? Like, I'd rather and giving me a chance to make a play than not giving me a chance. But hindsight, man, you want to protect the football. That's the name of the game. Every coach in America would tell you that one of their offensive goals is to take care of the football and not turn the ball over. So you got to find a way to do it.
That's play number 2.
Intercepted at the 30 and brought down there.
I'd also like to back up. I got one comment to make.
Yeah.
A lot of times we are running routes on 2nd down, deep routes. Yeah. And I've noticed that Caldwell's had to come out the game, right? We run to take a deep shot. He's coming off the field, and he's not on the field on 3rd down. Now, as a guy who took on the last name 3rd Down Brown, it's pretty important to be on the field at 3rd down to keep the chains moving, right? So if we're going to run the deep route, and we got to have the stamina to get back, hustle back, next play, 3rd down, we got to be in there, because on that route, we had in a freshman who's kind of getting his 2nd game worth of opportunities. I think that's Corbin Wilson in there. And if you go back and look at the play, just watching the game, when he got out there, he was still kind of finding his way and getting out to his position. And so that's a lot different than having your Jakari Caldwell out there. Now, he went out there and kind of stood, but receiver-wise, if the ball's in the air, I'm going to get the ball, right? It didn't come to me. I'm not sure who you're throwing it to.
Drops back.
I'd rather you go and try to make that catch.
Nah, ain't nobody catch. Ain't no wide receiver getting that ball. He threw that thing nicely to the safety.
Keep looking at the angle. But the ball's in the air, right? When the ball's in the air, you can pick it up pretty quickly and tell that it's not, coming right to your chest. All right, so if he's throwing my way and he looks like he's throwing it to me, I need to be moving towards the football to go affect the ball one way or another, right? And so I just think those are little nuances. You'll see, and that comes
sure
with
throw.
experience,
That's
right?
intercepted.
And actually on that, this actual interception, this turnover, it wasn't immediately costly because South Carolina State end up throwing an interception on their.
Shout out to KP. He got his first one of the year, man.
Good
KP
Lord.
got a pick. We got to get back outside, hit that X button, and get down that sideline.
Yeah.
But
he didn't know what to do with it. He was like, "Oh shoot, I got a football in my hand for real."
Hey.
But he didn't have no exit strategy once he caught that interception. But he was not Deion, right? But he finally got one in his hands. He needs about 2 or 3 more of those too for his NFL resume highlights. He needs to have some. He has the physical measurables, but you want to have some INTs and a whole bunch of PBUs to make your case for the NFL scouts, right?
Good job making the tackle.
The reason this was pivotal, though, even though they didn't score immediately on the on this interception, they turned the ball over too. But what happens was when we got the interception, we were like on the 10-yard line, so we got a punt on that. We had a turnover on downs. That's when Fomby was kind of camera shy. Yeah, and then they flipped the other. So we punted. They got the ball short field. Then they scored on the next possession. Yeah. But that kind of set up the field, though. You're right, Craig. Yeah. So
take a look at the replay. What do you see?
Great play. Looked like it's thrown in his own coverage.
That's 18. That's is that Wilson? That's the kid from Southwest Guilford. I mean, okay.
And Bronson did a great job of just getting the play and getting a little momentum, training him there.
Talk about being in the right place at the right time. He was just standing there.
Good tackle by 18. 18 might
He's
have
a big boy now. He's a player. He's going to be a player for us.
He might have a future on special teams with that type of hustle.
Phoenix, 2 receivers right, 1 left. Play action fake. Phoenix going to bomb this one into the end zone.
That's a push off.
That's push off.
Listen, I'm going to get on my MAC ref kick right now. I'm going to keep
offensive pass interference all day long, every day.
And it was the second one, Craig. He pushed off on a possession or 2 before, but
I know
what it is.
Yeah.
Phoenix going to bomb this one into the end zone. That is caught. Touchdown, South Carolina State. Roughing the graduate from Savannah, Georgia. Watch this.
Standing right there. He's not looking at anything else other than the play. I don't know how he missed the call. Well, yes, I did. Never mind.
So, wow. And so Aaron Harris, when it rains, it pours. So he gives up that touchdown. This is the bonus. This is 3.2. This is he gives up the touchdown on that, and then on the next kickoff.
So this is taken at the goal line. Oh, ball is loose. Ball is loose. They fight for it. Bulldogs say they have it. No signal yet from the officials. And they do. Bulldogs.
So, and actually, I think I got to go back and look at the film, but I think that interception, that fumble was the one that led to the interception, and the interception we punted and they scored again. So I might have the sequence messed up, but those were some pivotal moments. And that's after this fumble, pretty much you just felt like, good Lord, the momentum has shifted. This ain't gonna be our night. They a couple minutes later they go up 31-17, and really, just our defense is not built for playing from behind, because we got to get stops, and we have a hard time getting stops, especially when teams want to run the ball. Usually, when teams are up by 2 touchdowns, they say they lean on the running game to bleed the clock, and that's actually our Achilles heel. We can't stop the run, or we have trouble stopping the run. So that was these 3 plays. I know y'all like the background music too. I got that added here. So we go to Richmond Saturday, 2 p.m. We got a puncher's chance. I like Fomby. I like Cameron Dalrymple. I like some of the new guys on defense. 21 Savage, all those guys. Whoever's healthy, I'm sure they're gonna play hard. I'm sure the coach is gonna get them prepared. Let's go. Last word. Start with you, Doug. What's your thoughts on this weekend and what to look forward to going forward?
Well, it's a new season. It literally is a new season. It's the fall now. All right, it's the fall. It's October. it is homecoming season, so we're gonna go take care of business in Richmond, and then we're gonna do our best to win the remaining of our games the rest of the season, especially here in October. Right, like the season is not lost. Coach can do well by himself and for himself, as well as the Aggie Nation, by having a good October. Right, September is behind us. You just got to move forward. So one game at a time. Go ahead, take care of Richmond, get back on track. Come on back home to the friendly confines of Aggie BB&T Truist Stadium, and let's get this thing rolling in the right direction. I think if we can finish the year on a positive note, it bodes well for us in the recruiting cycle, bodes well for us in the future in terms of this program and where we're headed. But worry about the things you can control, whether you're a coach, whether you're a player, or whether you're a supporter. Notice I said supporter and not fan, right? I do have some Blue Death Valley gear, but generally when I come on the show, if I'm not wearing any Cap Alpha side paraphernalia, then I have on my A&T hat, my A&T logo. This is what makes me a supporter of this program, of whoever's leading this program, and especially those guys that give up their blood, sweat, and tears, and they're putting in the work and practice and on the field on Saturday. So let's do our part as Aggies, not to just be fanatics or to be critics, but to be supporters, right? Because if you're a former player, then you've been there. You've been in these guys' shoes, right? You know what it's like to be on a team and not have the support that you should have just by wearing the blue and gold, right? If you're a former coach or you're supporting the coaches on the staff, you know what it's like. So let's do our part as Aggies, man, to make sure that the folks in this program are well supported with everything we got, right? There's enough critics out there. There's enough people that don't want to see our program do well. We don't need Aggies rooting against Aggies, all right? We need us backing these guys, supporting these guys, and just give it all we got for the rest of the year and see what happens, right? Because those guys are still fighting. I think that was evident Saturday night. They're not giving up. So we're not going to give up on them. Let's turn this thing around. And let's get back to the winning ways here in Aggie land. So one step at a time, one game at a time, one practice rep at a time. That's what it takes, man. Let's keep a positive attitude, and let's get ready to have a great October.
All right. I'm ready. Well, all right. Take us home, Craig.
Well, we got Richmond this weekend, and I've been looking at Richmond over the last couple of days, and that's a winnable game. Strange, and I will say that that's a winnable game. I watched their film from the last three games they played. That's a winnable game. The biggest thing that we have to do is take care of us. That means we have to eliminate turnovers. We got to have good ball security. That we can't be fumbling. We can't be fumbling on special teams, throwing unforced picks. Picking up, when we got it, we get in situations where we got them stopped and we give up a offside penalty or make a dumb, not thinking play,
roughing the pass or something,
and stuff like that. We have got to eliminate the mental errors, because you were talking about those three plays, a key three play. When we were down first and goal from the 3, we had a snap. We had a snap back out to the 25-yard line. We got to cut that mess out. That's the third game in a row I've seen that happen, and it's gotten old. I mean, really. I mean, I'll leave it as that. But that we have no business doing that. We got to eliminate that kind of stuff. The mental mistakes, the turnovers, because when you eliminate those type of things in that South Carolina State game, we probably end up winning that game. If you take out those turnovers, you take out those mental errors that we had in that third quarter, we probably win that game. So Richmond's going to be good, but I think we got a chance to play with them, and I think if we're in it late, we'll have a shot. Because I will tell you this, we do have the best. We have the best game closing weapon.
Oh yeah,
in the FCS,
in football.
Like football.
Yeah. Any FBS team would want to have Money Brown on their sideline in a must win, must kick moment because he's money from probably 55 yards in. Yeah.
Yeah, if we're in a situation where it comes down to kicking game, I like where we are. I like our chances in it. So, eliminate the mistakes and just be consistent and don't and play within ourselves. I think we'll be okay. I think it'll be a good ball game.
All right, Gabe. So Saturday at 2 p.m. Richmond, straight up I-85, man, 3 hours away. Ain't that far, so y'all can make it. But let's get out of here. Until then, with Doug Brown and the President Craig Turner, I am Samaj Marsh. It's been a great episode of Inside the Valley. Thanks again to special guest Bob Black, the voice of the Richmond Spiders. And like I say, we'll see you next week. We'll find. We don't have a game next week, but we'll have a show. So until then, Aggie Pride.
Aggie Pride.
Aggie Pride.